Good morning, everybody. My name is Ezz. I'm CEO and co-founder of Cypienta. And today we have our esteemed panelists here in this panel discussing AI in the SOC. I'll let them quickly introduce themselves. I'll give it off to Sherif to start us off.
Yes, hello, greetings everyone. My name is Sherif Eldeeb, and I am currently a cybersecurity consultant at Mandiant, which is now part of Google. Before that, I used to work for Microsoft as a security officer for the Middle East, and before that, my background is from law enforcement and cybercrime investigation. I have a background about building and operating AI in SOC environments and governing it and providing AI frameworks to make sure that AI adoption is just like there are guardrails around that adoption. So, like my background is that, and my experience in AI systems is in real life and something that I have witnessed firsthand. Thank you so much.
My name is Mohamed AbuMuslim. Currently, I'm working as a security researcher at Microsoft, specifically Microsoft AI. I'm specialized in building and breaking systems. So when it comes to SOC and AI, it's many trials of using like agents to enhance the detection engineering pipelines and so on. And we're gonna discuss this in the panel. Thank you.
Sweet.
Hi everyone, my name is Ahmed. I'm leading the Cybersecurity Operations Center in ABC Group. I'm currently based between Dubai and Riyadh, and my experience was basically in Microsoft security stack, particularly Defender Suite, Sentinel, and Security Copilot, which I'll be sharing what has been working for me and what it didn't through the last 1 year. Thank you.
Pretty cool. All right. Mahmoud, you're up.
Yes, my name is Mahmoud Shoair. I'm currently working at SBM at Saudi Arabia, working as a shift lead there. I have like experience in working in multiple MSSPs, hopping between SOC analysts and engineering, mainly focusing on threat detection. And we were talking today about how AI will help us enriching the data and the alerts.
Super excited. All right. Taher, it's all yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Taher Afridi, and I'm the CISO and Chief Compliance Officer at the Mercura Group. We offer SaaS digital solutions to the maritime industry, as well as things like RegTech, and we're in FinTech as well. I'm hoping to add some value here by talking about AI and security from a compliance point of view.
All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohamed. I'm coming from cybersecurity background with around 8 years of experience, mainly in the defense. I'm currently the founder of MS Technology, where we help our customers and the client to build their SOC or security operations centers using the latest technology, including the AI, the hot topic today. So yeah.
100%.
Okay. So my name is Jawad Khalifi. I work as senior cybersecurity consultant with CGI. I had like 15 years of managing a SOC and building the network security. So from a SOC perspective, I worked on ensuring the maturity model, the maturity level of the SOC, part of it to include the AI and the processes used in the SOC.
All right. I think we got one more intro now.
Ashraf.
Me?
Oh, there we go.
All right. Okay. Ashraf, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Ashraf Aboukass. I'm currently working for Qatar Energy. Qatar Energy, big energy company in the Middle East. I run the SOC here and a few functions under the SOC department. Background in cybersecurity, originally from the UK, London, originally from Morocco. And that's me. And I think we've got a lot of experts here. So I'm here to just listen and maybe give you my end user perspective, because I think there's some real heavyweights and experts here. So I'm here to understand and learn from your wisdom.
Thank you. Likewise.
100%. I'm not fooled by your humbleness, Akram, to be honest, but okay. We'll give it a shot. Sherif, why don't you start us off? You built a lot of SOC AI agents. From your point of view, what makes AI truly effective in the SOC? And how do you think we just keep it grounded?
Like it's not a lot, just like a few, but like yeah, they are in real life environment, and yeah, it's like your question has twofold. Like first one is how to build AI, how to make sure that the AI agents are effective in the SOC, and the second one you mentioned grounding. So we'll talk about what that might be. So effective means that we have a point of reference. Like I built something, and then I want to check how effective that thing is. So I need to compare it. What is the ultimate objective of having an AI agent in the SOC? So I think it's worth like taking like one step back, and like before AI agents, what are the things that we want AI agents to solve for us? So before AI agents or AI like this whole hype cycle that we are currently at, like I work in consulting. So every time you go in a SOC and ask how many SOC analysts do you have, what is the answer? Like anyone knows what is the answer? What is the right answer for that question? How many SOC people do you have?
Loads and loads and loads.
Not enough. Like yeah, like Qatar Energy, they have lots of money. Yeah, he doesn't suffer from that problem. But everyone other than Ashraf, actually, like when you tell them how many people do you have, they will tell you that like I don't have enough folks. Like you have alert fatigue, you have lots of people, and along come the ChatGPT. Like and then there is a potential of actually solving that particular problem. Like the knowledge problem could be solved, the automation problem could be solved. And like lots of people build around like Gen AI models, lots of startups, and even the big names started adopting Gen AI, and they started over-promising around like, yeah, now you can use AI and actually in your SOC, it will solve all your SOC problems. And then without naming names, once they build something and deploy it, it is either insanely expensive or producing wrong results or simply not living up to the hype. So between those two being like completely hype and people completely disappointed, and actually realizing that this is a good potential for solving our, like you can see that SOC analysts, all of them started asking whatever ChatGPT or Gemini instead of actually Googling those things, and they are producing good results. So how can we make sure that where the truth lies between that? What we want to make sure that we want to instead of change our perception to make sure that it is effective or not. It is not replacing AI analysts. It is not doing their job for them. But once we admit that AI can be a tool to help SOC analysts be better at what they are currently doing, I think we will be all in a much better position. So AI agents, if you are looking at them as replacing your SOC analysts instead of actually solving the problem or supporting them in doing their job, they are not effective at replacing your people, but they are quite good at supporting their day-to-day tasks. So to be able to grasp the solid ground truth on how effective AI agents could be or currently are, they are really good at supporting. Like it's a force. They are currently force multipliers. If you are doing them doing properly, implementing them properly, and using them, they can be super effective at supporting and empowering your AI analysts. So now to the question, what makes AI agents effective? I think you must start with a single problem. Don't try to make them do everything at once. Like start with a simple problem, and then try to solve that single problem really good, and then pivot from there. So don't try to make it everything. Just start with one single problem, a phishing playbook or triaging a host or an IP address. So it must be specialized. It must be very limited in what it is, what you are trying to do. It must be governed. Once you decide that AI agents will be touching your production data, they must put some governance around it. I know it's boring. It sounds not like the policy stuff is really boring for techies, but like before you make it touch your production data, you must govern them. So effective AI agents are governed before they touch the data. They have a specialized purpose. They are grounded in your data, which means that they are taking or getting their responses from the data that is in your environment, and they are under constant human oversight. So this is like how super quick, how to make sure that the AI agents, you are not putting yourself on the foot and you are managing your expectations correctly. Regarding grounding means that the AI agents are providing responses or answers that are grounded in the facts of your environment. So it's not telling you something that like it is pulling out of thin air. So grounding, there are like lots of things to make sure that the responses you are receiving are actually from your environment, making sure that they call this RAG, retrieval augmented generation, like the pieces that you are asking the agent to respond to are pulled from your environment. And there are other things, and my time is up. I really want to be respectful for, and I think this will be covered later on.
I wonder, I think we can, I guess, squeeze in a few more minutes, but I wonder, from your point of view, what are some really good, I guess, use cases?
Yeah, so like the simple ones are triaging. So maybe you start with a simple thing like triaging. So in AI, agentic AI systems, you have multiple, you have the LLM reasoning and you have the tools. Let's say you would like to see if this user or a host is worthy of isolation or further investigation. So you type this into the AI agent, and then the AI agent will do will go through a playbook, a specified playbook. Like it will get the historical cases for that particular host, patch level, who logged in the last 30 days, and then like it does this reasoning. So the full execution will be either through a Thor or directly, and then the reasoning will come up with a verdict. So these are the kinds of use cases that I have seen are quite good and producing not disappointing results, if to word it politically. The stuff that is simple, straightforward, and has a limited set of reasoning. On the flip side, the bad use cases is when you ask too much of an agent. Like, tell me, write a report about take this ticket and write a report about everything that happened. This is way too much for, it's too complex. Start simple, reiterating what I just said. Start simple with one simple problem and solve it really good. And in the path, you will learn lots of lessons that you will be able to apply, and you will be able to build a much more complex system from simpler problems that you solved to be able to reach that complexity. You will not be able to solve a complex problem from the get-go. Solve simpler problem first.
Got it. Show of hands, how many have you personally actually seen an AI tool maybe help in the SOC? Anybody saw an AI tool that actually helped in the SOC? No, go ahead.
I will be biased, but I will do like this.
100%. And anyone wants to share like a single use case that they think is like the best that they've seen so far?
I can share some use case, but that is not directly as a SOC tool. As we know, the SOC, the CM SOR, it relies on other tools to take the verdict in some cases, like the IPS will take the verdict and send the result to the SOC. So on those tools, the AI and machine learning existed way before the SOC exists even. Machine learning, for example. So let me take this use case quickly as I can. As we know, in a cloud environment, we now have the Kubernetes system where we have multiple pods communicating with each other. And believe me, it will be impossible to a human being to understand what is normal communication from what is abnormal communication. So here we deploy like an AI-based tool to give the baseline of normal communication between these Kubernetes and pods, and then any deviation will be detected as abnormal. This use case, the AI is helping to build the normal as abnormal in such a complex environment such as Kubernetes, and the verdict is sent to the SOC tool like a CM or SOR. So this was very helpful for us in managing a SOC for a cloud-based environment where we have thousands of servers communicating between each other. Yes.
That's pretty cool. Any notes, Sherif, on maybe a little bit about what does it take to make these use cases work best? And that might loop you back into your point about governance, I guess. But for these specific use cases, do we have to prep certain things to get them there? Or is it kind of, if it's unstructured data and we're good to go, we're usually good to go in most use cases?
So you shouldn't start thinking like we tend to fall on this, like we start with technology, like I will be using this framework or using that technology or using this tool. We shouldn't start there. what you really want to start with is a business use case. Like start with a purpose. I want to reduce the triage time for hosts by 80 or 90%, or even like reduce it or remove it completely. Start with a business objective. And then start from there, start doing like pick the like maybe like do a solution architecture, try to do how to like a plan. If it is too big of a plan, break it down into smaller milestones where you will, instead of like completely getting off, maybe reducing the time or the error of enriching or increasing the value of the enriched. I'm using triaging as one example. So start with a business, because everything else is a variable. The business objective is the only constant in trying to realize value out of an AI agentic solution. So start with a purpose, and then try to like automate simple stuff that was taking like maybe like lookups. A simplest thing is like not involve the LLM at the beginning. Like try to do like a simple script that looks up virus total, and then like it brings back a JSON blob. This is a very good starting point. Like once you have that, you will move later on, and then like maybe like introduce like this pieces into the LLM, and then tell it, interpret that output for me. So like it's going to be a two-step thing. Start first automating simple stuff that usually is done like manually, and then after that introduce the LLM reasoning into the loop. And then like again, as I told you, baby steps, like how to eat an elephant, like one bite at a time. So like start with smaller bites, so you'll be able to like consume that elephant in the room at the end of the journey. Hopefully.
That's amazing. Well, honestly, we're gonna keep on going on that kind of line of thought. So great breakdown of how essentially structured process or business process architecting and mining help you unlock the actual value of these AI tools. But you kind of touched upon that, and you kind of mentioned that that's, AI can still kind of go sideways without the right tools and without the right governance. So maybe Jawad, you can enlighten us a little on what we should not trust the AI on today. I know you've used a lot of tools that use AI for correlation and detection and all of that, and you featured a few use cases, but where should we not trust AI to act on its own?
Yeah, thank you. As I agree first with what Sherif said, that every context should have a business objective, even the AI by itself. So let me just simplify my understanding to the incident response process as two phases: detect, respond, and lessons learned. Of course, as per NIST, it's more than that. So AI will help in the detect phase and in the respond phase. So I believe that it will be more helpful in the detect phase because it can correlate events from different systems better than a human being. But when it comes to the respond, I believe here there should be a human intervention, as Sherif said. So we cannot overtrust what the agent is telling us. I give you an example. I detected, for example, that there is an S3 bucket open to public. Then the agent will tell me, well, enhance logging, encrypt the data, block the access from public internet to that bucket, and so on. I know that most of these are already done, but it's that specific reason that I need this bucket to be open. Maybe I will apply IP whitelisting or whatsoever. So we cannot have, like, for example, a junior analyst trusting that agent and taking whatever this agent is telling us as the grounded truth. We should have some expert. So I can summarize my answer to the question. In detect, we can rely on AI. In the respond, we should have the expert analyst doing the job, not junior analyst and the agent-based responses. So that's my understanding. I can give you like where we can also use AI as use case for the SOC. So here I'm asking myself, forgive me. So yeah, AI is used to enhance the detection and the response, okay, but it's also used to enhance the process itself. So I can use AI to minimize the false positive. AI can tell me where are the rules that are triggering the most false positives. AI can suggest on me to automate this process or to enhance the automation of that process. So this is where AI can also be most helpful, not also to mention where it is not useful.
Makes sense. So would you think that we should essentially let it decide on maybe a ticket, like an entire ticket or an entire investigation verdict?
Well, yeah, thank you for this question. As it actually depends on the criticality of the playbook or the ticket. So if you are talking about a phishing email, well, okay, it can automate the response and it can take the decision on behalf of the analyst. But if we are talking about containing a production server because it has been suspected to be infected by a malware, no. Here, the AI should not take the full decision from A to Z. There should be a yes or no decision for the human analyst, and then he or she can take the decision. So it depends on the context. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Makes sense. Ashraf, you've led major SOCs. What's your take on Jawad's note on essentially, I guess most use cases are going to be on case-by-case basis for utilizing AI, and most of them might end up with a human in the loop. How do you see that with essentially utilizing AI at an operational scale?
So look, yeah, look, I just want to, sorry, just to pivot away in that. I mean, randomly, you could just say, I want to use AI. And I think everyone's pretty much said a lot of like having a business objective, et cetera, et cetera. But you need to know what you want to do, right? So it's either to speed up analysis, improve detection, use it in an automated workflow to make a response action. Can it completely automate some end-to-end use case? So from detection to analysis to response, action, closure. Probably something very, very simple. And maybe that's probably where you want to start. But I would say you need to keep it stupid simple, right? And we know before the invention of AI, or when it became popular, I'm saying the buzzword, it's still very difficult to automate the most simplest of things, because everyone's data is unstructured, the environment is varied in types of technology, nomenclature is completely, every time you try to do something in a big organization, it's quite difficult. So if you wanted to, for example, just let's say my goal would be, okay, Sherif, I would like this AI tool to take every single password use case, password brute force use case, or password failure use case, and analyze it and take a response action. And I do not want to ever work on a use case that involves password failures. Even something like that would be pretty difficult just to do just like that, right? So that would probably take a lot of time. But if you broke it down like that, you might be able to achieve that. But do I think today's general models can deal with something like that? Probably not. I would love to do like a little test on that, because we're all different. We all use different identity providers, different use cases, different usernames, different policies when it comes to passwords, different approaches, different admin behaviors. So for me, just a one simple use case like that, where I can say, look, those use cases, we can look back on all the different things that we did from a SOC analysis, and yeah, we'd like to treat that. But I've looked at the data on this, and sometimes you realize, depending who is in your SOC, which analyst did the investigation, did the response, their view, their opinion, etc. If they knew the guy, if they didn't, yeah, the data's pretty all over the place. So anyway, I think I've spoken quite a bit on that. But yeah, it would be a good use case.
100%. So it seems like it really matters what data you're feeding in, and you're really just garbage in, garbage out kind of situation.
It's not, I mean, we don't have garbage. I think if we talk about security logs, I think most of them are garbage. I'm going to be quite negative here, because we can't agree on what you call an IP address, or what you call a failure, a failed login, deny, fail, block,
right.
Drop. All of these things make it so much more difficult, right? We can't agree. If I ask everyone here to tell me what are their list of threats, we'll all have different threats, and some of them are actually risks, not threats. And if I somebody, and so Scoring is just another thing. So we, as an industry, we don't have a domain that is like, we have this is the Bible for cybersecurity, and we all agree that this is what an incident is, this is what alert is, this is what severity is. And I think that makes it even more difficult for us to adopt AI.
100%. On that note, I'm going to shift gears into the actual use case of AI, maybe in tools like Elastic SIM, for instance, as part of the SIMs. And I'm going to pull on the expert on the topic, Saidani. You've worked with a lot of SIMs, especially Elastic, with your YouTube channel and your courses on that. With Elastic's attack discovery, I know you noticed maybe some sort of cool things and some sort of interesting use cases. What usually needs to happen upstream, like before it even reaches Elastic, to make that work well? Are there limitations on data structures or schema or normalization, as maybe Ashraf has touched upon?
Thanks, Az, for the question. Let me step back first and let's talk about what Elastic and not only Elastic, other security providers also trying to work on these days is like the SIEM, ADR, like generating a ton of alerts. And if you keep focusing or keep investigating and analyzing the alert, you may miss the real attack. So what the company is now trying to do, or security providers now trying to do, is helping the analysts and the security team to focus on the real attack, not only the alerts. So with the attack discovery, or as you mentioned, the attack discovery from Elastic, they're trying to do the same or similar thing, where you submit or you send your alerts, you send the context, and they will send you a feedback or an answer, like trying to build the full image of the attack, or trying to help you with this true positive or false positive. But before we get there, as you mentioned, the data is necessary. First of all, you have to send the logs, metrics, telemetries, like you have to have a real data there. And the second part is the data should be normalized. In Elastic, we have something we call it ECS, or Elastic Common Schema. So like it's just a naming convention. It's an open source project from Elastic, where if you are sending the data using Elastic Agent or using the bits, like from the different sources, from the different tools, technologies, they're gonna be the same. If it is source IP, it's gonna be all source ID, source IP. If it's like the same naming convention, or the same name. This is the first step. The second step is, as Sherif mentioned, the RAG, or retrieval augmented generation. So if you take the alerts and submit it to the to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever the LLM model, you will get an answer, but the answer is not customized, or it's not for you, right? We know the LLM gets trained on the public data, so you will get an answer based on what the model gets trained on. It's missing the context, and here where we need the RAG. So before we submit our question or our alert or our whatever, like looking for, to the LLM, we send the context, or we enrich the alerts, we enrich the ticket with the necessary logs, metrics, telemetries, whatever we want, the historical data, what normal for us, what not normal. Then we submit it to the LLM, and here the LLM will get back a customized answer for us, like with a full context and a full image on the attack or on the alerts that we submitted. And this will help us to reduce the investigation time. And also, you asked previously a good question about the trust. So it's not 100%, like we keep a human in the loop. We need to double check until like we reach some maturity level. Then we take it from there.
100%. Who here, by show of hands, I guess, is confident their logs are actually tagged and normalized before they're sent?
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Sorry, can you say that again?
You mentioned the note about the schema and about the normalization of the data. Do we think that we have data that is well normalized or well structured or well even enriched before it goes to our AI? If the AI sits in the SIM in this case, do we think that we have it before the SIM?
I'd like to ask, do you think that it's the job of the AI tool to actually make sure that data is in the structure it needs to be, or do you think it's the job of the SIEM solution? So where are we putting that onus? Should this tool or model pull data that is in the correct structure it needs to be, or should it be agnostic? Because if, for me as an end user, you say, well, my AI tool, your AI tool is not working because your data's rubbish, then you're putting the onus on me to do a lot of work to get value from your product. So do I really want to use your product? Because if I really put the effort and energy into structuring my data and doing all of that, well, I probably achieve quite a lot without using your product as well. You know, that's one of the things. It's really hard for me to do that. I don't think you're going to get to a stage where I'm going to have an amazing, an amazing data set for you.
I agree with Ashraf. As I can add something to what Ashraf said. Yes, normalization takes a huge effort, even if the product is telling you that it has the capability to normalize data. There is some manual effort, but AI can help in spotting the logs that are not ingested or that are not correctly ingested. But as Ashraf said, it does not have the job scope to normalize the logs. So yeah, I agree with him.
Sherif, what are your 2 cents? I know you raised your hand.
So, like when Apple removed the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack from the phones, everyone was like there was an uproar, but people did not stop buying Apples due to that. So it's a choice. Like if whoever is building that AI solution decided that I need clean data in to be able to produce this amazing feature that wouldn't be, because I need to pick, as someone who is building or putting efforts into developing a solution, I need to pick where I am going to pour my efforts. Should I make it easier for the customer to send me data that is not normalized, or I'm going to assume that this is going to be normalized, and now I'm going to focus on that other niche feature that is going to be there. So like there is 2 sides to that. There is a customer and there is going to be a market for all of that. Like the market is so big, it will have the AI solutions that will take in unstructured data for a cost, and there is that other people who are the Apples of the. I'm not saying that this is Apple and this is like another product or whatever. I'm just like giving an example here. So it's a design choice and a customer choice, like pick your poison kind of thing. So
100%. Ahmed, what are your 2 cents?
I think we all agree on the same point here. Parsing and normalizing the data takes a huge effort from everyone. However, I have faced a few cases that my data is structured, normalized, parsed, and still the model didn't give me anything relevant to what I've been asking for. So even if you have a good data quality, you'll face hallucination and data that's not relevant. So it's better just to focus on how to make the model working instead of normalizing data for the model.
I see. Okay. And AbuMuslim, anything that you want to add there? I saw your hand go up a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't want to open this topic, but how many of us seen people covering all the like mapping to like MITRE ATT&CK and managing data sources and etc. So having this and then using AI, what kind of results you're gonna have? So you don't have the basic stuff that everyone is demanding, like managing your assets, knowing your assets, mapping your data. And I think all of us seen like people doesn't cover actually MITRE ATT&CK, and some of them cover MITRE ATT&CK, and then they think this is the only kind of attacks you need to map into it. So this is a kind of a challenge of detection engineering itself, not the AI. Like this is like the first step, and then we gonna discuss the problem of AI.
Makes sense. So it's all about the normalization and making sure that data is at least at a state where it's even ready for the business process to unleash, and then using the AI as part of your business process where it fits And ideally, it fits without adding more constraints or adding more data requirements, as we brushed upon. Fantastic points. But it seems like we're hearing some sort of a pattern that AI always needs to fit in a business process. A little bit on the business processes across the entire security board. Taher, if you can enlighten us, I know you've seen multiple use cases in your day-to-day life. Tell us a little bit on the use cases where AI works well for you in certain business processes. How do you keep it safe, and how do you essentially make sure that the business process is already architected and you're feeding the correct data for it in that business process? Like, how do you reach that maturity for a use case?
Absolutely. So I think I'll probably sound a little bit repetitive. There's been a lot of great points that have already been highlighted. But in the world of GRC in general, and if we move to a little bit more towards FinCrime and KYC, know your customers, due diligence, screening processes, these sort of centers are very similar to SOCs as well. And the same kind of challenges that are faced by SOC analysts are very persistent sort of challenges across all sort of centers that look at a lot of alerts that come in, and they're on the timer, right? So they need to do things. We've already mentioned here, like things like the mean time to respond, mean time to detect, contain, etc. So in a very similar way, in the world of GRC and RegTech compliance, we don't have a lot of frameworks that are very prescriptive, right? So again, making sure that you have a layer that works for you as a business, and then you apply the AI on top of it for you to be able to get some form of positive outcomes that align well with what you're trying to achieve. Some of the challenges that we talk about, of course, that have already been mentioned now, like alert overload, fatigue, all the manual repetitive tasks that the analysts have to do in terms of SOC. We talk about constraints when it comes to resources, burnouts, a lot of tools, but also a lack of effective tools. So we try to put AI on top of that to try to solve a lot of problems at the same time. But when we, focus on agentic AIs, you really want to look at what is the exact single problem that you're trying to achieve, and then you can start building that sort of AI workflow, towards a greater goal, right? So in our use cases, for example, when we talk about general GRC sort of screening in the world of FinCrime or financial crime, we're looking at a lot of the end users, the names that we have, the banks, the customers, etc., all that stuff. And we're trying to screen all that against global regulatory databases like the ones coming out of the Treasury Department, OFAC or OFSI in the UK. And every other country has, of course, its own big list, and these are tens of thousands of names. So, of course, we generate a lot of noise, similar to generating a lot of false positives. And it's important that we're able to bypass a lot of these false positives to be able to look at where is the actual risk. Am I really matching a bank account that has been, sanctioned, for example? Do I need to, shut down this user? Highlight something to legal, for example, in terms of a contract with a corporation that has gone, on one of these lists. So I think this is where AI adds some form of value. We are probably years away from, having full dependency on AI to replace anyone. But as mentioned here earlier, it's definitely something where you're sitting along with AI to enhance the sort of jobs that you can do. So making sure that you're able to, secure your data in a form like using RAG, for example, it's become very, very easy now for even end users to, bring up an MCP server and just connect that to your data sources, to avoid as much as possible hallucinations, and get the right context for the sort of value that you're trying to get as part of the AI outputs. So I think these are some of the things that we're doing as a company as well. We're doing a lot of different things in order to make sure that we're able to add value to the end users, to the analysts, whether they're looking at a SOC, looking at regulatory compliance, but at the same time be able to use different technologies where we're looking at our sort of data, making sure that we know where this data is coming from, having the right structures for this data so we're able to do the correct kind of screening, and building that context by having a human in the loop to make sure that whenever we're taking a call, there is some form of context to it that aligns well with what we're trying to do as a business.
That makes a lot of sense. You touched upon maybe a little bit of the privacy side. Do you think that people should deploy their own like LLMs instead of the public ones, with a focus on sensitive data?
So I think every company, every corporation will have its own different levels for what they're trying to achieve. So for example, for us, we are regulated in the EU, so we have things that are applicable to us like GDPR. We have the EU AI Data Act. We have the new UK Data Usage and Access Act that's coming up in 2026. There's a lot of regulations that sort of change the risk appetite that we can take. Of course, you know, any security professional will probably think twice before telling you that it's okay to put data out there in the public, or train other systems as well. You know, so it would make sense. It's really it's a risk balance, right? So do you have the resources? Do you want to put in the right investment to make sure that your assets are being secured? Is that the right value for it? You know, build your local LLMs. I think it's, you know, it will definitely differ. So we definitely build our own LLMs. We have privacy is a big issue for us. So we have no data in North America, for example. Everything is hosted in the EU. So we try to put these guardrails around data, plus around what AI can do with this sort of data.
So it seems like you go through like a rigorous architecture of the business process, like you mine it and then you kind of document it, and then you figure out how do we protect that data, and then you build, as you mentioned, RAGs around it, or you essentially build wrappers around the AI so that you can plug the AI right in, and then you also consider some sort of like a local LLM as well, or local AI solutions to fit your appetite in these use cases.
That's correct, yes. And it's not one solution applies to all. It really depends on the value of the data sets that you're looking at. So we have some data sets that are more sensitive, that are treated internally. Some things you don't need to invest a lot of, you know, a lot of your investment, you know, time, effort, cost. So you're looking at things like generative AI for templates, business processes, and, you know, a lot of the stuff can be done on the cheap, on public LLMs. So I think it all comes down to your risk assessment, how you structure your data, how you classify your data, and what you're trying to do with your business processes.
Super cool. All right. I'm gonna take a pivot real quick and maybe ask people around if we select the use case of correlation, like log correlation or alert correlation, which I know Mahmoud is gonna enlighten us a lot more on the next 5 minutes or so. But if you take that, have you thought that AI in its current format of generative AI would help in this case? And have you seen anybody actually get what they need out of these kind of tools in this business process specifically? Any opinions on the matter of correlation as a use case and AI in that use case, generative AI in that use case?
The question
I
is
can
for
some.
Go ahead. No, I want to say that in the detection phase, AI does a very good job. So the correlation of existing events is part of detection, and it's what AI meant for, the machine learning, the correlation between multiple failed logons, followed by an SSH session, so on and so forth. But again, I will repeat myself, for the response, it will be, it will need a human intervention. By the way,
How about the correlation only? Like that use case of finding the relevant things to each other, is that something that generative AI helped you in? Shoair?
Yes, for sure. I will give the speech to Ahmed as well, but I can say that it helped a lot, especially when you have multiple events correlated from different devices. Of course, you can build your own manual heuristic rules saying that if I have 5 failed logins, followed by SSH session, followed by whatever other session, I can detect as a real attack. However, building this set of rules will take a lot of effort. I know that the product will come with multiple rules out of the box, ready to be customized. But in real attacks, you go to the MITRE attack framework, you have much more complex scenarios that you cannot build. So the AI will help you detect the unseen, the pattern that is unknown for you, which is the definition of AI when it does the non-labeled detection, and this is a technical term for the AI learning models. So yeah, and the product. But for the response, and I will give a speech to Ahmed. Notice that all the product vendors, they name it Copilot, so as if implicitly they know that it's not ready to be a pilot. This is why the human factor should be in the response. So back to the correlation. Yeah.
So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with everything said by Jawad. So when we talk about correlation, honestly, I didn't see a use case that AI would go through the logs, through the raw logs, and correlate something. What I have seen, at least from my experience in Security Copilot, Microsoft, that it was able to help us when we have a different alerts that correlated in one incident, and this is by, for example, Microsoft's XDR, and then the AI was able to help that because these data are contextual data. It's grounded, it's real events. So the AI was able to take this information or entities from the different alerts and somehow build a story timeline for that incident, and that helps the analyst to go through. Instead of going this alert first or this alert first, the AI will help you to have somehow triage the incident on the quickly. I mean, yeah, but going through the raw logs, I don't think so.
So mainly on the reporting side, rather than the actual, the correlation was left to the rules or some sort of another use case that maybe with machine learning or something. Okay.
Yes.
Sherif and AbuMuslim, anything to note? I don't know if your hands went out briefly.
So Ahmed already covered this. Like since this is a panel, like I think like it's worth like as little and as wrong my experience is, like it's worth sharing my experience on that part. Like LLMs have like a limited context. Like this is like the amount of information you are able to feed that particular one, and like that thing is still limited. And like the bigger you make the context, the less smart it becomes when it comes to reasoning and like drawing conclusions based on the information that has been fed. Logs to like do the correlation part usually is quite like a large number of logs that have lots of variety, and like the LLM gets confused, like get attached to the wrong pieces of the input context, and then like ends up doing like wrong conclusions. We're not quite there yet, but like not all is lost. Like it doesn't mean that it is completely useless. It is good at like when it's like context is small and like you're so I found that like they call this chain of thought. Like this is a reasoning problem. Like drawing conclusions is a reasoning problem, not a knowledge problem. Like it's not a piece of information that you are pulling out. It's like something that you already fed, and you would like it to reason over that. So chain of thought like prompts, like think through this step by step usually helps, and the out of the box thinking models that have been like released lately, like DeepSeek R1 and like the recent Gemini and the O models and all those other things help with reasoning, but it is no, like in my own like very limited experience, we are not there yet. What it is good at, it can reason and act, like it can make a plan. Like we tell it that those are the kinds of logs that I currently have, and this is like I gave it the context around the case itself, and then I asked the LLM, what do you think would be 3 different ways to approach this particular problem? Revise those 3 ones and pick like the correct ones from those 3, and then like make a plan to do that. The agentic realm that we are currently at, you can like have those on 2 steps: one of reasoning, like making the plan, and another one to actually execute the plan that it came up with. But we are not quite there yet. Like this is my own personal experience. So like, yeah.
100%. Anybody wants to, I guess, oppose that point of view?
Yeah, actually, I have some takes when it comes to building, AI agent, and as they say, the AI SOC or SOC AI, this term. So the idea of having logs from products like EDR, SIM solutions, whatever product you are using, and there is LLM do some specific task and grabbing those logs from the tool itself, and then you have another agent to do a specific task. So it's like agent to agent. So you need the agent to triage the events and what is happening. You have the reasoning agent, and enrichment, and also you have the response agent. And this one I have so many to talk about it, because incident response is a very complex topic, and we can't rely on agents. Like, I have seen stuff from the beginning of triaging the incident, and
right,
coming to suggestion into the response, it's totally wrong. So you have very complex issues when it comes to having this ecosystem, because
so that's
every agent of those, you need to have a training set specifically for the task that is doing, and you need to the agent need to understand the logic it works on, like the detection logic, the triaging logic, and what you're looking for, so it can help you to enhance your operation. And as Sherif was saying, we are not there, but this is the imagination of having ecosystem, just prompting, okay, so what happened in our environment. So the latest 10 top attacks, it's gonna list it, it's gonna tell you all the steps, etc.
Essentially one bite at a time of the elephant. I see your point. So break it into business processes and then one bite at a time. Mahmoud, if you can enlighten us, I know you've seen firsthand by your role right in the SOC exactly where the rubber meets the road. What role does data, I guess, quality and data enrichment and normalization help when it comes to maybe the correlation use case that we've focused on for a while?
Okay, regarding the data, the first thing that the SOC analyst fill in, especially when you start analyzing logs, the story starts when the logs was imported to the SIM. Most of the engineers don't care about unifying the fields, which mean if you have emails, usernames, EDR, they are not unifying the fields. If you make a search with just the user in specific time frame to see what the other relevant events around the suspicious event, you can't see this as 40 user, email source user, and there is a variation in the fields, which make the quality of the analysis itself, or the quality of the data, if you push it in the AI, it will give you a hallucination and a wrong answer. And especially I was working with multiple clients. All the clients, the first thing they will think of is rushing to import the logs without validating the quality of the logs. Even that 4688, sometimes you see that it's without command line. So you need to validate the logs. You need to unifying the logs. And there is some SIMs make a context to their events, adding if looking for IOCs, if the IP is malicious, if the user is privileged, if the assets is critical. These also, when you correlate the rules, it will make beautiful insights when you analyzing the incident or the alerts. Another thing regarding the normalizing the logs, it actually take a lot of time. That's correct, but when it's done, it will make the process very smooth. There is an MSP that I work with. Their whole ecosystem is based on SOAR. The ecosystem all in SOAR, not depending on SIM, not depending on EDR. It all depending on SIM. Everything to the SOAR, and they have a playbox, and it enrich the alerts. And we call it L1 searches or triage searches. That if an analyst will make it, it will take him an hour to make those searches.
Right.
And you can see if you have this, you can, after this L searches and you have the proper context, you can have the customized context for the alert and put it to the AI agent. It will give you like connecting some dots, making some queries to validate some points, which is very beneficial for the analyst. So my point here, if you have the normalization of fields, I know this is hard and it will take years. Like this MSP, like they took all the different ADRs, literally most of the ADR vendors, they normalized all the fields from these ADRs. Even if there is any new client, when they importing the ADR logs, they take just 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. Importing the rules, the different rules, the customization, everything imported in 5 minutes.
Is that essentially? Sorry to interrupt. Is that essentially the layer of automation that the panel was referring to earlier? That's essentially the layer of, let me get all of the automation that doesn't need AI done first, and then go into it. Oh, God.
As Mr. Sherif also mentioned this point, if you have like all the playbooks, it will also make the MTDR. It will make like if the analyst he will take an hour to analyze this incident, it will take him 5 minutes, because all the context he's need, it's already there. And even if added the AI, you can just give you how to say it, it can auto close like this MSP, like closing 700 alerts every day. Okay. And if you like adding AI, you can make it 1,000. You maybe make it double. Why? Because even the playbooks is good in enrichment. It don't have the resilience of the AI have when it checks the logs, because you already have the enrichment you need. So it solved the problem that I have the context to specific alerts. So this will give you a very beautiful result, and this model already working and already there, and they already even make a unique platform for them internally, making data analyst, making AI engineer there, and it will give them very, very good insights of the data
100%.
on the alerts and and the attack patterns. So if I know it's really, very rarely to see something like this, because most of the SOC always go to people process technology. Most of the SOCs here, the process sometimes it's not clear. If you have a clear process, clear of how to import, how to validate, how to correlate everything, you have your own customized rules, not always dependent on the vendor rules, which is very noisy. So that's my point here. Yeah.
100%. I'm gonna make and I guess a pivot on that point to Ahmed's experience. And Ahmed, I'm gonna call on you on this one, because I know your point you made earlier was I'm using XDR, I'm using all of the data, I'm using all of the heuristics, everything is normalized, everything is from the same vendor, even the AI is from the same vendor. But I feel like, I guess there is some sort of dependency on certain elements, and I think you uncovered that with your experience, maybe with embedded in the incident report AI versus standalone AI in the SOC. These two use cases, how do they differ, and how do you understand why that difference exists?
Okay, so I know we're running late, but I'll try to be
No
everything I want to discuss about. So we will take this from 2 points, from a practical and another point at the pricing perspective, because it really make a difference, and we did not touch base on that so far. So I would start with the, as you know, that the pricing on Microsoft Copilot is per SCU, which is computing units. It's not like tokens and GPT or other LLMs. So saying that they are very, very expensive, which it doesn't allow you to take full experience and to train your model and take the time you need to train your model to give you the results you need. So this is about the pricing. So when we talk about the embedded experience, so far I like it, since it's already we are full house Microsoft, so we have everything natively integrated to each other. We have on top of that Copilot. So Copilot is embedded in every security tool, so it's able to work on the grounded or contextual data that gets from every single tool. It has the activity, it has the alert, it has the incident, so it can help a lot, especially with analysts like L1. So once you open the alert, you can see that the full report, if it's 3-4 alerts in one incident, you can see the correlation, the timeline. It builds a very good story timeline. It provides also a guided response. How are you supposed to respond in such incident? Do you need to reset the password? Do you need to remediate the email? One more thing also, small features, but also it helps. For example, we have a malicious PowerShell, and then it's a very long script is running. It's already running on my machine. I have no idea what it does, where it does write the malicious data. And then I have to take that out and go to understand it. No, with a single click, you analyze that, and then Copilot was able to provide a human readable text. This malicious script download content from this and then communicate to this and then write on the registries. So this kind of small features helps a lot, specifically for L1s. For L1, it's very helpful. For security, for senior people, maybe yes, maybe no, it's 50-50. So this is when talking about the embedded experience. Standalone, I have a very bad experience. I have mainly 3 problems. First problem is the pricing. It's very, very expensive. And if I want to keep trying and get details and train my model, I need to wait almost 1 hour to provision new SCUs to be able to use the tool again. So this is a very big limitation for me. Second problem is the prompt engineering, which is, it needs to be a little bit refined and improved, because for example, in GPT, you can ask a question and you can put wrong grammar. You can, the question maybe doesn't make sense, but GPT somehow can understand what's your objective and get you what you want, right? And the other way around here, you have to be very specific. Even a single dot or a comma make the question doesn't make sense for the tool. So you have to be very, very specific about every letter. If you mention the display name instead of the UPN, it doesn't get you what you want. So this is second thing. Prompt engineering needs a lot of improvements. And the third point is hallucination, which is in every single tool, any other tool. I don't want to talk about a lot about hallucination, but imagine I have native integration between all my Microsoft tools. I have native integration between Copilot and connectors directly to every tool I have, for the XDR, for the intro ID, for the SIM solution. And still, it was hallucinating. So it was a promising project, but not yet. So I'm happy with embedded experience, not happy with the standalone experience. Yeah.
What's your call for action? Because I saw Sherif put that in the chat. He was like, call for action, tell us what we should do. So what do you think we should do? You brushed upon multiple points. You said, and my understanding, I guess, is embedded means that the call for AI is very confined in a very specific use case. So that links back to the business process, like know exactly where it fits and then click one button and it fits exactly in that role and nothing else. And then you also mentioned that chat could be an engine for a lot of cool things, but similar to all of the engines, it needs some practice and it needs some prompting and it needs a lot of updates. But you mentioned this engine seems to be an expensive engine to run. So embedded is cool, but when it comes to the standalone, I guess this is what usually people are referring to. You mentioned it's expensive. I need always the most updated engine and need to be really, really good using that engine. What is your call for action for people to actually use AI in a good manner in their SOCs today?
And when you say a good matter, like we are expecting centralized AI interface like GPT, but something for security in my tenant, in my environment. I can ask and reply that any details about top risk users today, for example, and then the connector will go connect to Intra, see who the risk users are, come back. The same thing for every other security tool. My call for action, I have no idea. They have to make it cheaper. This is what I think they have to do. But it's based on GPT. I expect it to work or understand better than this. But yeah, I'm glad to hear your opinion, guys, also.
Any call for actions from people that have something to maybe add in this specific use case for Ahmed and
I think
other people?
AbuMuslim might have something.
Maybe. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the areas I was mentioning when I'm talking about the SOC ecosystem and using like a standalone system. It comes with its own challenges. So like Ahmed was saying, the Microsoft tools like M365, all on Copilot, everything. You can build your own KQL queries if you are threat hunting. You can actually make the Copilot do it for you. You can, I'm not selling here, so.
No, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm just.
You already bought it. You just didn't like it.
I'm just talking about the complexity of managing your own, because it's like it's the thing is data. Okay, so it's data retrieval and data augmenting. So when you have this kind of data already in the sources that can be ingestible for the model, so it's so easy to do stuff like this, because it's like it's same product, same vendor, as you say, so it's developed like this. And when you are trying to use a standalone, you come to a challenge to connectors. We're gonna go back into like traditional products, like connecting the IAM and PAM and etc. So you will need to figure out the way to have a good from the data coming and this data going through the model. You need to understand like the models usually breaks from the data coming from logs and stuff like this. So you need to figure out your own way. Like one of the best data types you can use is XML. XML is actually working, and sometimes it's JSON, but it does some of the syntax error and stuff like this. But till now there is no absolute solution. It's just workarounds.
100%. I think Ashraf
I think
was saying something about the data input. He was like, if the data input is so specific, if I need very, very specific input for something to work, I mean, it seems like it's a lot of effort to make it work.
Yeah, I guess one of the solutions is using like MCP stuff. Like it's the API for the AI, as they say, and MCP is making it very, very easy to have an integration with another product. So it's easily implementing your MCP, but here we comes with another challenge. So having your own MCP, there is some challenges in authentication, authorization, and some of folks build their own authentication. And if you heard about the incident recently happened, they found like exposed 1,000 MCPs, and the so when you are looking about on the code they are using for this servers, it's very, very bad code. Like it's the basics. So everyone,
it's probably generated by a ChatGPT.
Yeah, everyone is expecting the AI will help us just imagine, and the AI will make it happen. So it's not like this. It demands a lot of work, and it's like moving everyone from their own comfort zone, and everyone just doing coding, software engineering, everything. Like this is the new world of security.
You crushed my dreams, Mohamed. You crushed my dreams. You're telling me that I can think it and AI will do it? That's it. Sherif, isn't that what you were building? That I'm gonna think about it and then it's gonna happen?
Right? I thought that was the promise. Where's the vibe investigation?
All of us were looking for this. Like, I want to, make AI doing my boring stuff, and I'm just focusing on something interesting.
Makes sense. Sherif, you got your hands up. Give us your 2 cents.
Yeah, so like there's so many like hopes and dreams and about like the AI that will save us all. Like it feels like there is this book like the next wave by I think Mustafa Suleimani, the now Microsoft guy. Like he is making like an example of what we are currently like when the internal combustion engine came out, like the vast majority of the economy was around horses, like pulling carriages, and we are all coachmen at this moment. Like we are all still operating over a horse, like actually pulling a carriage. Like there's so much noise. Like it's like the hype is real and the potential is real. And for folks who are not like myself, I am a simpleton. I'm a very simple person, like not as smart as you folks. Like when that much amount of noise is actually currently in the scene. My recommendation is to my fellow folks who would like to get their like a direction in this noise is like start with something simple and something as stupid as like my recommendation is to all my colleagues. Is like start with chat with a PDF solution on YouTube. Like it is irrelevant to security. It's irrelevant to any of that. Like all those amazing stuff that is happening out there. Start with something as stupid and as simple as like open YouTube and start searching for chat with PDF AI, LLM. Like if you would like to be like that, you will find like around like 20,000 YouTube video. You will get the fundamentals that are applied in the much more complex AI solution out there. You will learn how to interact with the API, how to chat with it, the simple RAG, what embedding is, how to chat with that. And then like this is like the starting point. The learning curve, like the entry level is not steep. It's very easy to follow. It's very easy to like produce a solution that you upload a PDF and be able to chat with that, and then you will learn the fundamentals of how to build on top of that. Maybe like after that, if you already finished that first chat with PDF, try searching for agentic RAG PDF. Like it's like a slightly longer video, but it will give you like the concept of like agents, how they apply to straightforward or naive RAG. So my recommendation to like myself and my audience is start with chat with PDF. Just like hold with me. Trust me, you will be like thanking me after you go through that. Chat with PDF. This will learn you the fundamentals. And then there is something called agentic RAG. Search for that. Finish the first then. And then you will be amazed by the amount of knowledge and the skills that you have gained doing like only those two things. Once you reach there, you will be good to understand. You will be able to hold much more meaningful discussions with whoever is trying to sell you like the tram or whatever they are trying to sell you.
You think that's like the AI literacy essentially?
Yes.
Like everybody should have the AI literacy and then be ready for that future.
You will be able to write, I don't know, like stuff now. Like it's like literacy is like knowing that these things maybe exist and like not be completely like as stupid as I am when talking about AI, like in the presence of the likes of Mohamed, AbuMuslim, and the like of the other people. Like, but when you go through those two like tutorials, you will be able to build solutions on top of that. CTI solutions, VM solutions, vulnerability management solutions, even SOC solutions, as simple as they are. But this is what the complex systems are. They are just like a combination of.
Ashraf is like, give me the links to those YouTube videos
steps.
Right away.
Yeah, small steps. But
I'm
not that smart, actually.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Yeah, I was saying to the Sherif, I'm not that smart. I'm here to learn from him and learn from everyone. So, you are the experts. I'm not.
So, not fooled by the humbleness. I gotta tell you guys.
I agree with the idea. Like it's always small steps toward your target. You will eventually get there.
Makes sense. Jawad, what are your 2 cents?
5 seconds, 2 cents in 5 seconds. So my understanding is that as of now, we are using AI as co-pilot and detect and response. When we have the detection agent communicating directly with the response agent, we are approaching the phase where it's a pilot, where it's a fully automated and based on AI. But to reach this, we should train the SOC that, well, this verdict is okay. This verdict was not accurate. Or use reinforcement learning. As most of us has mentioned, we are way beyond having this level. But this is what I see the SOC in the future as fully relying on AI. And this is when it will become pilot, not co-pilot, and where we should care about our job security as SOC analysts and SOC leaders. So that's my point. And as Ashraf said, Sherif, please, if you can share the links, it will be beneficial to all of us. And thank you.
I appreciate it. Taher, you got your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump back on the earlier point. I'm a big believer in garbage in, garbage out. I think if you want to do something, you got to do it right. And unfortunately, you know, with the ease of access to AI tools now, it's made a lot of people lazy. So a lot of people aren't doing the job right. They aren't putting the right efforts into it. I think all of us here can also claim that within half an hour, we can be doctors, we can be engineers, we will probably know how to fly an airplane, do some security work. You know, AI has opened a lot of access to a lot of this sort of information. The promise is real. The promise is great. You know, having this you know, sort of collective human AI intelligence. But I think we are years away from that. So also agree with my colleagues here. You know, we're still a little bit, you know, before we can, you know, probably think about AI taking our jobs. But I think the skill set here is changing now. So for a lot of people that are getting into the security scope, I think the real question is, how can we upskill in order to work with the AI, right? In order to manage the AI, work 100%. With and that may mean, you know, like maybe the level 1 jobs might not exist in a few years, but then there is still someone right there to be human in the loop to make sure that the AIs are working properly, they're being trained properly, they are still taking the right call. I know for sure a lot of companies will still be very hesitant to, you know, to agree that AI takes all decisions, right? So there's still a lot of, you know, human factors that have to be taken into account.
100%. AbuMuslim, do you have something to add? I got a question for you anyways on that topic.
Okay. Yeah, I need to add some takes on this. Actually, AI is not meant to be replacing anyone. So the idea is implementing like ecosystem or agents like this into SOC environments. It's to keep the redundant and repetitive task from the junior analyst. So instead of the junior analyst doing, you know, saying this event, okay, this good, this is not okay, we are cleaning this, and then taking an action. So now the junior analyst can be focusing on the real learning and real detection engineering, and instead of doing this. So this is the first thing in this. So yeah, like eventually some of us will be like orchestrating AI tools, but the thing is, someone needs to be an expert to validate the output. It's always like this. Like we can't you know, put the human out of the equation in this. We should be like, you know, keeping the cycle on. I know it's so hard, but this is what I see, in, you know, from my point of view. We can't actually make this affect our talents. Like it's always hard to find someone with a skill set and a senior level, because, you know, we all know this is a challenge all over the globe, not in a specific area. So it's 100%. Hard to find someone. So we need juniors to be seniors and etc. But the skill set is changing, right? So the skill set is changing, and it's just adding, using AI and understanding AI and LLMs, you know, besides the real experience about detection engineering, understanding security, and, you know, so on.
From the use cases of a junior, what do you think are the use cases that are solid today for AI in the SOC? Can you name 2 that you can stand behind?
Okay. So 2 of what I have seen in this space is the reasoning agents. So when you are trying to find out what are the kill chain, what happened here, what happened there, and you are trying to get some logs and everything, like for this profile, like, you know, APT 42, APT 40, etc. So the agents are really doing a really good job into this. And it's not just getting you information, and, you know, some people actually working on visualizing this now. like building, vector databases and stuff like this, and visualizing actually the kill chain, ahead of you. This is one of the, this is one of the areas AI is doing very, very good in it. And the other area is triaging. I saw a couple of this. It's not actually doing good work, because of the data set. Like you are trying to validate data, and the real challenge is having a clean data set. You need to have a clean data set for the agent to be able to have, the decision on this. Like this is a clean data, and this is a malicious data, and it's a challenging.
So essentially, threat intelligence mining, or essentially mining from PDFs, similar to the link Sherif keeps on referring to, and figuring out what the threat actors are doing. And then the other one was triaging, and you kind of don't really feel it, and you're kind of agreeing on that with maybe Ahmed and Mahmoud and Jawad on their specific experiences with these specific tools. Is my understanding correct on that one?
Yeah. I really don't see the agents doing good job in triaging, and it's we will take some time to trust it, to trust the output of it. But I will keep saying this: we can't fully trust a machine, right? So in the past, we all depend on the automation cycles and pipelines and stuff like this, and you still find flaws, right? So if we are doing this and just prompting, and this is what everyone is expecting, like we're just prompting, and you don't actually understand your environment, you don't know what is happening, and at some point someone actually won't be able to know if this attack is real or not. It's just demanding on the AI decision.
Got it. Makes sense. It's all about the explainability as well. If I don't understand what happened, I can't trust it. Makes sense. And it seems like these co-pilots are not helping us out here with the understanding, because they're, I guess, a little too black boxed.
No, it can help you understanding what is happening, but the idea is it sometimes it hallucinates and give you some some dummy data, and you don't, if you don't have the knowledge, you can't verify this is true or not. So a little bit of work, and this is what Sherif was saying, it's some small steps. So we in this phase, we are trying to reevaluate the AI and the efficiency of using it on production. And maybe tomorrow, I don't know, this industry is going so fast, so maybe we will have efficiency, but it's not 100%. And I don't think we gonna reach this level, because of the LLMs actually can't be predicted. Like this is what we see today. You can predict the output, you can predict the action, and it's not safe to make it a decision maker.
Got it. Okay. So essentially, with all of this in mind, SOC leaders, I guess, should think more about the business process, think more about the specific use cases, and then figure what use cases are successful. And maybe the successful ones today seem to be around maybe mining or threat intelligence, and strategic work, rather than tactical SOC operations today in terms of correlation or whatnot. Beyond, my understanding is beyond maybe reporting or making summaries or reports of already existing investigations, maybe due to rules or due to heuristic algorithms or human investigations. Understood. Okay. With all of that in mind, maybe I'll take a pivot here, and maybe Ashraf, you can help us land this plane with all of these co-pilots and pilots. But how do you, I guess, oversee AI in the SOC? Like, what's your call for action for SOC leaders today to adopt AI in a responsible fashion?
So first thing is, it's really hard for a large organization. We spoke about all of this technology, by the way. It's actually very hard for an organization to adopt any technology. So also we have that hurdle. And so because AI is going so fast, and I'm going to use the AI buzzword in general, if you work for an organization that takes 1 year to year and a half to implement something, or even 2 years, whatever you thought you were implementing in the beginning, you're not implementing it in that second year. So that you need to be careful with that. So whatever you thought you were going to get, you're not getting, and hopefully you're getting something better. But anyway, that's really important. I'll cover a few things, but I just think I'll start with the negative first, because I think it's important to get that out of the way. I think AI is causing a big problem for us because I don't think people are absorbing any information or starting to really learn things properly. It's just quick and fast and throwaway information all the time. So I think definitely we're losing something. We're losing those scars, those learning pains, and all those experiences are going, and they're going to go forever for some of our youth. And I don't know if they're ever going to really understand how things work. So that's a fear of mine, and that's a different discussion to have. So, and I don't know if the AI, this, which is really like a super steroid, like the big guns, should be even given to the juniors that don't know anything. Maybe we make the really good guys go 100x faster, and let the juniors struggle a bit to just gain some war scars. I don't know, or the opposite. We give it to the juniors to go really fast, and the seniors can sit there by them and just pull them out when they think that they're doing something stupid and say, no, that computer's wrong. I don't know. Again, that's a different discussion of who you give your weapons to, right? Because you're giving somebody essentially a very powerful weapon that doesn't really understand. And I think there's going to be massive impacts in the future, because people are going to allow AI to make some serious decisions, and there's going to be some serious disasters from that, because people don't know what happened, because they didn't really understand what was going in there. So anyway, so all the negative out of the way, and I'll start then with the kind of what I think you should do. I think you shouldn't rush. That's the first thing. Don't sell a dream to the leadership, which is what most people do, because we have really good sales guys out there. So don't sell the dream to the leadership. Don't rush. Review what data is being. So there's plenty of really good boutique startups, but do I want my institutional organization, a company that is of national significance, for me to send my data to that small, amazing startup that has like 6-7 guys doing some bleeding edge research? So yeah, you need to ask yourself that. So maybe you're not going to benefit from that bleeding edge stuff. Whatever you do choose, obviously we've said it already, choose a model or technology that has been trained on your data and understands and integrates with your technology. This is probably very, very one of the key things here. And be clear on what you want to achieve. You can't use AI for everything. You can, but you're just going to waffle. You're just going to go all over the place. So just be clear what you're trying to use it for. Speed up analysis, as we said, improve detection, use it in automation. So yeah, I think, and we said that already. Think about the level of decision you want AI to make, or if any, but I definitely think a human in the loop and humans still there making decisions, that pulling the trigger is still very important. So that's my takeaway for you guys. But I guess you all already knew that, because the caliber here is so high.
100%. So to summarize, I guess my understanding is always break down your business process first. If you don't break down your business process first and the use case first, you're gonna abuse AI. And if you abuse AI, as you mentioned, the consequences could be a lot. You're gonna get hallucinations, you're gonna get noise, you're gonna get brittle work, you're gonna get juniors abusing it instead of going through structured learning and stuff like that. So first structure, then insert AI. And then the other point is ensure that you're not rushing and just putting AI where you haven't tried other things. So always try the other things first, because you might be missing basic automation, you might be missing basic knowledge extraction, you might be missing basic machine learning before you jump into generative AI.
Who remembers robotic process automation when that first came out?
That became sore.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
actually
became
worked on a
now,
project.
So that was it. So I remember I used to work for a finance company, okay, and I got given this. They're like, man, this is the next, this is the next whatever, and we're like, yeah, this is going to solve everything. It's going to improve business operations and process and workflows by like 99%. We're literally going to press a button, and so people were doing like stupid things, like they'll take a stupid process and they'd automate it. And it was just like, please stop doing it. And you can see people recording, going to the internet, downloading something, and then screenshotting it and doing this, and then recording it and getting it to automate this silly process. And it's like, please don't automate shitty little things. You can do it because the technology allows you to do, but please don't, because it kind of feels wrong and it's stupid and you've not really learned. But you can. That's the reality, and people were doing it and people were benefiting. So the moral of the story, you can benefit by doing stupid things, like in a stupid way. It gives you the output you want. But I wanted to ask this question, like, let's say I have the most mature SOC and I've done all automation in the world, right? Why do I need AI?
I'll leave that to Mahmoud, because Mahmoud was talking about specifically that.
Yes, for example here, for the Azure sign in logs, for example here, which you can see if you have already the playbook here, you check the signals that the Microsoft say, location, user agent, the registered device, if he is using a VPN or not. In the end, the automation, it's hard coded. Otherwise, the AI will give you the flexibility or the dynamic analysis when analyzing the logs related to such case. That's why we.
So sorry to interrupt you. You're saying that if
Yes.
my SOC is super automated and it auto closes everything that I've told it, or it deals with the known knowns, in reality, what we're saying, AI from this perspective is going to give us the known unknowns, and then I will be working on stuff that I didn't know about. And that's where we think the AI is going, right?
I will say that it will give me the connecting dots, what I'm missing, or what give me the. Yes, yes, you said you will give me some that unknown that I will be missing, but the end of the day, the difference between automation and AI when analyzing the data, the AI will have more dynamic. Otherwise, like the automation, you need to hard code it. Yes, this user authorized from this country. Yes, this user is authorized from Kazakhstan. Otherwise, AI will go to the, for example, will go to the I already have automation and give you the behavior for 7 days where he looking from. Okay, so he will give you this. The automation will stop there because we can't determine because it's a new signal. So the AI will give you this
I see.
insight and give you, yes, this normal. This is
You
expected.
know, my fear is, Sherif, I'll come
Yes.
to you, just come back to you in 1 second. My fear is I build all this automation, I make my SOC super automated and it does everything as I want it. And then AI comes along and then it goes, hey, you also missed all of these things. And then I get those things also automated. And you see this loop that we keep going through. So when it comes in, I don't want it come in to tell me to check it, because I've just gone through that loop and I'm going to do the loop again. And so for me, if I have an amazingly mature SOC and then the SOC AI, the AI tool comes in and says, hey, by the way, you missed those things. All right, what do you want me to do them? I need you to look into them. No. That's how we started that cycle 20 years ago.
I think my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, was you essentially get the 7 days worth of logs in your example to the AI, and then you essentially limit the context that you're giving to the AI, and then the AI
Exactly.
does the quote reporting that Ahmed was referring to on that very specific little narrow context that the automation has delivered, and then the AI is able to hallucinate way less on that specific context. Is that my understanding? Is my understanding correct, Mahmoud, of what you said?
Yes, because like I said before, if you have an alert and you already have the enrichment automation that you have in the alert, you already have the context. Based on the context, it will be And this automation, like if you let's say before AI, this is automation always enhanced, always adding more condition. The more condition or more signals we depend on, it's much more better. Like we say, like we have this enrichment. The author will give us, if I specific conditions, just auto close. If there is like new signal or something that the automation like it couldn't handle, we need human intervention. In
So
this
instead of
case,
going and-
AI, in this case, the AI will give me the insight and will make less for the human intervention. That's the main point here. Yes.
So the AI is not doing any searches or getting you more data. It's essentially working on the data that you have already provided it.
Yes,
And
and
then
yes,
giving you a
yes,
verdict.
yes, to do. Yeah, and if there is something the AI you want to like to give me insight on, yes, we can see it as Jawad. Maybe he give us some insight, but based in the context I provided him, maybe he give me like a more automation steps, or maybe he just give me no, it's just a false positive and it is expected because of the context I provided. So it will be like a hybrid between automation and AI, but the AI will complete the automation process.
And it seems like, if I understand correct, the parallel here is what Ahmed is living in. Ahmed is living in full automation, full XDR, full everything, and then AI on top. And he's like, the automation is fantastic. The AI is fantastic when it comes in this specific post-automation reporting. Anything else outside of automation, AI is no good. But in the automated incident already, if the AI just comes in here and he calls it the embedded reporting, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ahmed, then the AI unlocks its value because it's working on top of already existing automations and detections and all of that. Is that correct,
Exactly.
Ahmed?
Yes, exactly. And with the provided context, it will give you more value. Because as Mr. Sherif said, let's like automate the simple steps, the simple stuff that always will do in common field logins, and it will give you the value we need from AI and the automation. It's like a stepping stone for the AI to complete what is missing in the out of context and make hallucination more or less for the AI. Yes.
Sorry, just one second. Just to correct things, I did not say that it does not work totally. It does work, but to make it like really beneficial, it needs a lot of time to spend a lot of time and prompt engineering and to know how to ask the right questions. Plus, again, the pricing thing. So both comes together, make it a difficult experience for you to get what you need.
Got it. All right. Jawad, do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. Difference between automation and AI as raised by Ashraf and Mahmoud. So it's an if-then-else problem. The if is the condition, the accurate decision, else then to take the action. So AI is working on this section here, because when you have multiple conditions, a human being cannot take the right decision. This is where AI comes into place in what we call n-dimensional problem, and take all these factors like IP, location, device posture, all of these, and then take the decision based on risk-based assessment. And this is what Mahmoud described as dynamic, which a human being can do, but it will take like multiple automated programs, if then else, if then else, if then else. So AI will help us in taking accurate automated decisions, while automation will help us in automating the decision regardless of the accuracy. That's
Makes sense. Sherif, do you want to add your 2 cents?
Yeah, so back to the carriage and horse analogy again. Sorry for that. Like, you know, the first cars, do you remember how they looked like? And the old black and white, how did they look like? So like they looked like horse carriages with thin wheels, big ones, and like this is how we operate as a human. Like there is a new capability that has lots of potential, And what we are currently doing is we are building carriages that are using internal combustion engine. Like it's something that we are currently using, but like in like AI fashion. I think we'll be operating in that realm for a while, which is because this is what we do. Like we always relate to something that we know how to do before we are able to actually like exploit that new potential to its fullest. Let's keep doing that because this is how we learn and this is how we actually like explore till we realize what the next thing will look like. If anyone is telling you like what the next thing should look like or will look like, maybe like they are maybe like in for a surprise because nobody knows how this will look like. Again, back to the basics, learn how to do the stuff that you are already familiar with the new stuff, and then you will be able to realize what will be the new stuff that you will not be that you weren't able to do before. This is my 2 cents.
Ashraf, does that answer your question? If my SOC had all of the automation in the world, where does AI fit?
Look, I mean, I obviously I've been a devil's advocate and saying that to spark up discussion, but I think artificial intelligence is a great technology, and we will, like Sherif said, we will find better ways to use it, and it will be very, very beneficial for us in the SOC, in cybersecurity. But I think when we're talking about SOC, leave AI to one side. I think there needs to be a paradigm shift in how we deal with things in a detection and response manner. I think it's something that basically nearly everyone deals with atomic events and goes and investigates atomic events. If you take and so I think the SOC industry needs a shakeup in the approach and some standards in the way that. And I don't blame AI for that. I blame poor SOC leaders, managers don't know, non-experienced, don't know the approach, don't know how to do it, missing, thinking they have a SOC when they don't really have a SOC. So I think that there's a big problem there that needs to be fixed. And also there's a big problem in AI, as it's been oversold, overhyped, etc. As Sherif said, those two things need to somehow, eventually fix, and then we're going to have some amazing products and we'll have amazing benefits to the SOC. So there's two different problems there. And hopefully, inshallah, they'll get fixed, both of them, in my lifetime, before I retire.
100%, because God knows the youth with their unstructured learning with ChatGPT, as you mentioned. You don't want them to essentially figure it out for us. We got to figure it out before them, and then give them a good way that's structured where AI fits.
He said, you can figure stuff out in a good way or a bad way. It still works though, right? This is it's not going to be beautiful, but it might still work. And I want something to work that is beautiful as well. Beautiful to see. And I know from an engineering, this is a piece of art. So there's that piece as well.
100%. I guess a lot of great discussion points. I'm very, very grateful. You guys are very gracious with your time. I know this panel was originally an hour. Now we're nearing 2 hours. So very, very gracious with your time for the community. I'm very, very grateful and absolute pleasure being here with you guys today. My closing remarks are thank you very much for doing this. I think we should do more of this. We should do more community discussions and hopefully we keep it rolling. You guys have amazing insights. You came from different angles and added a lot of different cool discussions that were not thought about before, and I really enjoyed that. Any closing remarks before we tie it off? If you were to add one last thing for anybody that is currently watching this, would you tell them to go and do what? I know, Sherif, you're going to tell them go and learn on YouTube, learn the basics of AI. What would you say, Mohamed, AbuMuslim, and then Mohamed Saidani and Ashraf and others? If you can go around robin, what's one advice for anybody who's watching this?
Okay, so the only advice is everything is working the same, like the same basics. So if you are trying to build the knowledge, you need to start from the basic, like what is the computer and what is the software and what is the hardware and etc. So everything go back to this. Like there is no like a secret technique or a secret path to go through. You just take care of the basics and small steps as we were discussing.
100%. All right. Ashraf, I know you got a role. Can you give us your one advice?
My one advice is to try and do one thing. That's it at a time. As simple as just break it down to the smallest component you can, and try to solve one thing with AI. Yeah, that's it.
100%. Saidani, you want to go next?
Yeah. If you are not using AI yet in the SOC, give it a try, give it a chance, and definitely you will learn by doing. You will face new challenges, and you're gonna learn from that.
100%. Ahmed, can you go next?
Yeah, just try to use AI as a collaborator, not a replacement, and it should take you to the next level. Yeah, that's it.
100%. Jawad?
Yes, the same way AI has replaced junior to intermediate level programmers, but not experimental programmers, I can foresee that it will replace junior like layer 1, layer 2 analyst, but in the future, not now. But it will come at some day.
100%. Mahmoud?
For me, my advice, I always believe in practical learning. So my advice here, if you have like AI, try to play with it. Try like, if you have some scripts, some tools you have in your SOC, try to integrate AI on it. Try make it like sweet tools with AI. It will be funny results you will have.
100%. Taher, any closing remarks? Closing advice? One piece of advice to the viewer?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's some great advices here. My 2 cents is that AI is here for sure, and it's something we can't avoid. There's a lot of learning, but there's also a lot of information there that's changing very fast. So my one advice is to have a good mental filter to make sure that we're able to focus on what aspects of AI you want to actually learn, you want to implement, because there's a whole sea of knowledge out there for sure now.
100%. And last but not least, Sherif. You got to have another piece of advice other than go check the YouTube video.
Like, yeah, so it's exciting time to be like what a time to be alive. Like these like the folks like I hear Shoair, I think mentioned that like the L1 and L2s will be replaced. I like it was Jawad mentioned that AI L1 and L2 might be replaced like soon. I think they are just like going to have an easier time than us. Like they are just like more lucky. I don't think they are going anywhere. They are just like going to shift their focus on something else. We needed to have like mentors and people teaching us, and like it was really not easy for us to get the information we need. We needed to reach out, post on IRC channels, and get information and get that the hard way. Like the new folks are having like they will have a different set of challenges. Access to knowledge is not one of them, which is like something like mind-blowing, and it's a good thing. So it's exciting future. AI is not going to take anyone's job. The job will be different, but I think like it will be shifting. Like only the people who will be like AI is not going to take anyone's jobs, but like I will definitely tell you that someone who is using AI will be taking the job of the people who are not using AI. So this is going to be the difference. 100%. So this is what I like yeah. The future is bright. This is like what I'm doing like this. I'm telling Javad like don't worry, like don't scare the L1 and L2s. The future is so bright. It's like full of opportunities. Given that you learn how to build with AI. Please go ahead, Javad.
No, thank you so much. I just want to intervene and take the role of Ezz and give the role to Ashraf because he said he will be leaving soon, if this is possible.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Ashraf, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off. Thank you. It's been brilliant. But I just wanted to add, I'm between Joed and Sherif on that last thing. I am 100% sure that there will not be a SOC L1 analyst, but it won't replace them. We as an industry will not say we have L1, L2, L3 anymore. I think that's what's going to change. We don't have L1 analysts. We have responders, incident responders, and threat detection engineers more than anything. I think the whole analysis is the computer to do it now. We don't need to do it anymore. The computer is better at doing it, and I think we're going to shift away, and that role won't exist. Therefore, they didn't lose their job. They don't want that job anymore, I think. I think that's what's going to happen
Thanks.
personally. Well, let's see in 5 years time, but I think that's where it's probably going, because I can tell you my SOC analyst or any other SOC analyst in the world, dude, you're going to be doing that job for the next 10 years. No. And the reason being because they think it's a dead end job if they do it for like 10, 20 years, which means they feel that they're doing something is not much value, right? If you can't do that job for like a long period of time, like, and forget the being bored bit, you want to do something that brings value, right? So most of the SOC analysts, what they're doing is not really bringing value, and it's killing me. I want to do something innovative. I want to do something cool, and so therefore, should we really be having that job in the future? That's the real question. But I'm definitely going now.
Can I say
100%.
like that's to conclude, and it's in Arabic. Sorry for that. Like I will be translating this. So الإمام علي يعني قال يعني علموا أولادكم غير علومنا لأنهم خلقوا لزمان غير زماننا. Like teach your kids knowledge and like a kind of knowledge that is different than what we learn, because they have been created for a time that is very different than ours. So we enable like the analysts what they need to learn to be able to like adaptivity, being able to adapt, and resilience, and the ability to learn. This is key, because we do not know what is coming. Like we need to equip them for that, and this is where our role
Yes. Even not our children, our own self.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I'm old enough to like not think about like myself anymore. Like,
I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
Ezz, can you like close this down, because I'm struggling to leave all the words of wisdom. I don't want to miss out. One more.
Oh my God. I'm very, very grateful for everybody. Absolute pleasure and delight. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for graciously donating your time to the community. It has been absolutely enlightening. I appreciate you, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
thank you, Ezz.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was amazing, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, let's add everyone there. You might want to stop recording, I think.